test. Guys, see how loudly I have to talk.
Hi, hello, welcome.
Smile like that.
It's a regular smile. Yes.
It's crystal clear, we've been for years, struggling straight along the way, but having you by my side makes everything okay. We're watching video clips of all types of shits, laughing out loud, we really hate this crowd, and we don't know where to go, hopefully take it slow. Lots of hustler minds will reject the decline, our approach to life and that, well that's just fine. We wanna let others live because it's none of our business. We press your chest upon our mess. There's so many minds, hey, I'd like to align. See beyond this place, we want a part of this race. We do what we can, you better tap out, man. You're about to pass out or get a pick for the cloud. Why is it so hard out here? Lately it's so weird. Try to stay woke and humble and joke. It's f***ing hard out here.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of It's Hard Out Here. I'm Joel Morales.
I'm Karen Ayala.
And today we have Marcela Rodriguez with us. She's an artist, musician, and friend of ours.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
so much for being
hey
here.
friends,
Yeah.
hey buddies.
We're going. Oh, you know what? We probably should have talked about this beforehand, but if we can, let's just try to watch the cursing because YouTube doesn't like that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, Dara, I curse a lot.
I do so do we.
Yeah.
That's the
I
thing.
know,
Yeah.
and it sounds so normal and it's fine, but
Yeah.
we're like, oh, I guess we should try to work
Yeah.
into the
No
system
more
that we're
enhancing the
in.
sentences.
Yeah, so the last episode, I feel bad because I did have to censor out a lot of what our guest was saying, but I mean, not a lot of what they were saying, but just because they
Does
use a lot of
YouTube
curse
like get
words.
the censors too? Are they like, oh, these are censors? Like,
Well, you just can't. You'll get demonetized if
Yeah.
there's curse words. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So. They don't
damn.
like it.
Already,
It's
you
all
just like
good.
no.
But yeah, I mean, you know, nothing against our guests or anybody out there who uses.
Yeah.
I mean, I use curse words all the
I
time.
cuss all the
Yeah.
yeah. My daughter like doesn't even like pick it up. Like, and people
Yeah.
are like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, I'm like so bad at it.
Yeah,
But,
no, yeah. I mean, it's true.
There's place.
We try. Well, I try to tell the kids like, hey, there's a time and place for language like that. You know,
Yeah,
don't just go
yeah.
around and like
Don't-
using it all
don't
the
go to
time.
church and, like,
yeah,
yeah.
You know, or like around family or you know.
Yeah,
Just,
the
Certain
elders
businesses,
especially.
yeah.
it's a good
Clutching
one.
their pearls. And
yeah. So I mean, and it's fine. Like I mean, just last night I was watching Boys in the Hood. And I didn't realize how vulgar that movie is because I think I used to
Were
always
you watching
just
it with
watch.
the kids?
Huh?
Were you watching it with the
I was
kids?
watching it with one of them.
actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the younger one.
Oh yeah.
Of all, yeah, and yeah, I didn't realize how vulgar it was because I think I always used to watch it on like made for TV.
Oh
You
yeah.
know?
They're just like cutting out scenes. And,
Yeah,
and
but
stuff.
I was just like, oh dang. So I had to tell her, I was just like, hey, this type of language isn't okay, all right? Like, don't go around using it. And
Yeah.
she's like, I know. And I'm like, hey, and they're black too because they kept using the N word a lot.
yeah,
You know? And
yeah,
I'm like, they're black.
yeah. Don't say that.
Yeah, she always reports. Oh dang, always reports from school like who's saying it. She's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
oh,
it
good,
is.
good. Yeah.
No.
Teach her to speak up. I'm trying to teach my daughter how to speak up without being a snitch. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. She'll be like, I told the teacher that. I was like, was it your business? Like, did you?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's the thing.
Yeah. I was like, did you just get somebody in trouble that could have gone by like unnoticed? Like,
Yeah, very important key points to share.
yeah.
Yeah, we had to have that talk too. It's like, well, did it involve you? Then
Yeah, did it involve-
Don't
yeah.
get
Exactly.
involved.
Yeah.
People are gonna hate you.
Yeah, you're gonna be a loser and you're gonna get bullied and yeah.
I mean,
goodness.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
It's harsh in school.
No, yeah, I don't know how, dude. Like some of the kids out there, they're so rough, and I just don't remember it ever being like that for me.
I've heard like different, like I've heard like bullying has stopped, but I feel like it's different now. I feel like maybe kids
Yeah.
are like so self-conscious because of like social media or something.
I don't know because I've seen different levels and presented in different levels because
Oh yeah, well, you guys' kids are older, right? Like
yeah, I have one
Little bit,
older,
yeah.
one younger, and so middle school's pretty harsh.
Yeah,
I just saw an article about
always.
like if you don't have the same kind of cup as everybody,
is the Stanley like yeah.
Oh, I was like,
so
cup.
then and so you're sort of
Stupid.
like, ooh, you know.
It's like yeah, I hate that. It looks like it looks like a receptionist cup. Like, I'm like, why is everyone on
That's
this?
how these
Yeah.
all started.
Yeah, I was like, you want to look like a secretary? You want to look like you're gonna go get your nails done? Like, that's what you look like.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
man, that kind of leads me to think because you're really into like fashion, right? You dabble in that a little bit.
I think so. Definitely not as much as like other people. I see people on the internet. They're like, oh, I just got this like secondhand like Prada purse from like season so and so, and like
my God.
I'm totally not like I just work at Nordstrom's, so like I work in operations and like logistics, so I get like I know I know all the inventory. I know like when things are like gonna drop down in price and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm like always like, oh, I'm gonna get that. But yeah.
Do they carry like high end fashion products?
They do,
Yeah.
but like all the things like Oscar de la Renta, like Rick Owens, stuff like that, they get transferred in through like either like returns or like, because I don't think there's like a warehouse. Most places, because I've worked in like my specialty thing is like logistics and like fulfillment, and there's never places don't really have big warehouses. They'll use the stores as like the warehouse. So like sometimes you have to just transfer it. Like
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know much about Nordstrom, so I was like,
No, God bless them, dude. I'm like the worst employee. Like I'm like, thank you for not firing me. Like,
well, that's
That's
awesome.
good.
Yeah,
That's really good to have flexibility.
they're
like that.
adaptable. I mean,
It's as far as employers go, they're always like, what organization do you guys want to donate to? And they'll whatever you donate to, they'll like match and stuff.
Oh,
They're like
cute.
flying
wow.
people out for like affirmation surgeries and stuff. And
Whoa, that's crazy. That's really awesome.
Did not know anything about that.
yeah,
That's amazing.
The pay is like not as good, but the
Yeah.
quality of life, I'm like,
Yeah.
I can just go walk around. Like,
Makes
I'm
up
like,
for it.
I was like 2 hours late to work yesterday.
Wow.
You're like,
okay.
listen, my mental health.
I'm like, oh, yeah, I can't be a good employee if I don't get my rest.
I mean, you're still doing your work, and that's like the major part
Yeah.
of it. Things
Yeah.
are getting done, right?
yeah.
It's
I'm
not
kidding.
falling apart.
It's not fun. No one's dying. Like everyone's fine.
Yeah, the work still gets done. That's interesting.
I think that more employers need to realize that, like, we're getting the work done. You don't
Yeah,
need
just
our
like trust
time.
me.
The
Yeah,
quality
yeah.
is there.
And then like because like places are like, oh, if you have like time to lean, you got time to clean, stuff like that. Oh, it's like
Yeah.
it's like come on, don't make it like
I know.
it just makes people miserable.
Yeah,
Like, don't
no,
just like find
100%.
things to do. Like it's
Yeah.
like it's gonna
I
get
hate
there.
there's lots of times where I'm just sitting around at my desk and there's nothing to do and I just have to like tell myself, well, at least I'm getting paid, I guess, but I'm just like bored and I feel like I'm just wasting
I'll
my life.
I'll
you know?
leave. Yeah, I'll leave work.
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
I'll text my boss. I'm like, I got nothing. Like, can I
crazy.
go? And I'll just go. And then I suffer a couple weeks later with my paycheck.
I
but
know.
I was gonna ask, are you hourly?
Yeah.
I'm out early.
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
See, that's
Fuck.
where, that's kind of where I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
left
no.
to my own devices, like, I'm like, nah, I don't feel like going.
Yeah.
That's fair. I completely am okay with that.
Yeah. I'm like, I'd rather suffer a paycheck and like scrounge than like just be miserable. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've worked jobs where it's like you're working your full 8-hour shift. You're doing it like you cannot be late. Like
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just my jaw would be clenched like crazy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be very tasking. I mean, that's a major source of stress for me a lot of times. And she knows, like, we have a fairly strict routine, that we
Oh,
like
yeah,
to
I'm all
get
about
done.
routine,
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
but sometimes we're just like really cutting it close, and like I
Yeah.
have to get to work on
Yeah,
time. 'cause if
freaking
not,
minutes
I get like
matter.
docked and
Yeah,
stuff by
yeah.
the company, and you're only allowed like 3 late docks or something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh my gosh, I hate
Yeah,
that.
so I have one strike this year so far.
Oh,
that day,
no.
remember, I was like, I don't
This
even
year,
care.
we're barely like
This
halfway
dude-
through.
Well, yeah, because like we were, we had just gotten home from jujitsu and we had stayed a little bit later because
Yeah.
I like got a roll in and then we maybe talked to some people there and came home and showered.
Just a small amount.
Yeah, and we have to make breakfast after that. We usually
Yeah.
eat after class, and then boom, got to go to work right after that. And I was just so stressed out, and I was like, dude,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't care. I don't care if I'm late. Like I'm tired of stressing
No,
out.
sometimes
about
you need
this all
that
the
where you're
time.
like, I mean,
It's okay.
We know how to use the beep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have a beep. But yeah, I just like, I finally got to that point where I was like, you know what? I can take one hit. Like, this isn't worth it.
But how wild that's what you have to do in order to like
Yeah,
feel
you get the
comfortable.
consequences. Yeah, just
Yeah.
for like quality of life. and
Exactly. Your
stuff.
quality of life is just like so diminished.
Yeah.
Mine is because of that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
the like I said, one of my major sources of stress is just like that time management because, and it's all because of work.
Yeah,
it's all
I
because
have
of work,
friends
dude.
who are so stressed out from work, and I'm like, thank God that like my job, like I work is just like just something I have to do. It's not something I stress out about, and like I have enough
That's
things
good.
to do throughout the day.
There's
like
so much.
I'm so busy. Like from the second I wake up at like 5:45 to like 8 o'clock, and
You wake up so early. Why do you wake up
do.
so early?
Tell us about your day.
okay, yeah. Oh no, I'm so routine. Like, so I wake up at 5:45. My daughter just started like getting herself up. Like, yeah. So I'll set up her alarm like in her
helpful.
room, and then she'll get up at 5:45 too. And I'm kind of like doing this thing where she'll get dressed. Like I'll leave her clothes out and stuff. She gets dressed and she comes into my room, and I'm already awake. I'm just like slowly getting up.
Yeah.
And then she'll be like, Mom, I can't believe you're asleep. And she'll be all like proud of herself and stuff. She's like, Mom, you gotta wake up. And so she'll turn on the light for me and stuff. She's like, okay, come on, Mom. And so like it gives her like some kind of responsibility.
Yeah.
Oh my
for-
So
goodness.
yeah, she gets so by that time it's probably like around 6 o'clock. I get up, do my makeup, hair. She's in my room, like just like chilling, listening to like ambient music. She's like zoning out.
Getting ready for her
Getting
day.
ready, yeah, just mentally processing. I don't know. I don't know what's
cool.
going on in there.
That's awesome.
But and then I go get dressed, and by that time it's like 6:40, and then I make us both lunch, or I make our lunch. Sometimes I give her breakfast. She gets free breakfast at school, so I'm
I
like,
know.
dude, I'm
Yeah.
like, go, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not using my resources.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, I'm like, you get it for
Number
free. Like,
Yeah, for real.
yeah, she gets lunch for free too, but I'm like, I'm like, just eat that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so I have to leave by 7. Go to her school, sit in the freaking drop-off line
Oh yeah.
and all that. And then I'm just like chilling. Like, I think all the free time I have, like all the times where I'm like, I don't have to be doing anything, I'm just like trying to relax and
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
and all that.
That's
So
good.
it's, yeah, I'm like zoning out. Like,
Yeah.
and then after I drop her off, go to work, and then at 2 o'clock leave work, go pick her up, and come back home, make her food, and then do whatever like creative thing I need to do, or like
Yeah.
I'm just always, and like, I'm like always on my phone too, so I'm like always like texting people, solving things, like fixing things, like
Yeah.
So it's not like that bad. I think a lot of people are like, oh my god, you do so much, like you're like, but like I'm actually pretty relaxed about it.
Yeah.
That's
so,
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I guess
awesome.
it can be quite a lot of things because, you're working, you're providing for someone
Yeah.
else.
Oh, yeah, and then I just
you're
started
also being
school,
creative. Yeah.
Yeah, and then honestly, like going to school, like this past week, I was like, this is easier than going to work full time. So I'm like,
it is.
I'm like,
in a
it's
lot
on
of ways.
paper, it sounds bad, but like in person, I'm like, oh, this is a breeze.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Yeah. What are you going to school for?
architectural engineering, like CAD engineering.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh, cool. Like I draw like really like detailed stuff, like
Yeah.
measure and stuff. But apparently that's obsolete. Like drawing things by hand. So I signed up for it. I'm like, I gotta work on a computer. Like, yeah.
Oh, wow. So it's all like kind of.
Do you do graphic design with it, or is it models?
No, it's models.
Yeah.
It's like modeling. We're using like AutoCAD and Rivet to make
Yeah.
these like kind of like computer sculptures and layouts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The ones that are like they're still in the software, right? And
Yeah,
you
just
map
like
it
all
out.
it's like all
That's
engineering
cool.
software.
Yeah.
So I wish I could just be doing I'm not. I mean, I suck at Photoshop and stuff anyway.
It's hard. It's easy and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's like you've got to give it the time.
Yeah, I have friends who like went to school for it. They're like, oh, just do this and this and that. I'm like, all these
The way they
shortcuts.
point it out is like,
Yeah, I'm like, oh, sorry. Like,
Yeah.
like
duh.
give me like 2 more minutes, and like I maybe would have figured it out. But,
you're like, click this one, click this one, click this
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, are you YouTubing it? Like,
For
one.
sure.
exactly.
Yeah, you have to.
Learn
yeah.
everything on YouTube.
Yeah,
So,
so-
how'd you get to this idea?
I was like, dude, I need to go to school.
Yeah.
I was like, I need a like some kind of like. And it was also when I broke up with my boyfriend, and I was like, kind of like, what am I gonna do with my life? This and
Okay.
that. And so I was like, I'm gonna go back to school, and I'm gonna do like architectural drafting because I love dimensions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then yeah, but it's all freaking on computer. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's a
okay, I
different
got
world
this
now,
far.
for sure.
Yeah, and I really liked it, or I like it so far. So
Okay, that's
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Is that something that you kind of always had in the back of your mind, or just kind of popped up recently?
it's something that like I didn't really think existed. Like
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so
interesting.
I've always known I'm like, oh, okay, architects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I never thought about like the people who do like the blueprints.
Oh, right.
And so yeah, I
Oh.
was like, yeah, I was
They're,
just like
they're
there's
different people? I thought they
yeah.
were the same.
I know. I thought it was.
there's
They're
so many
all
different
one
there's
thing.
so many different like design engineering and stuff is so broad.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
you can do so many different things with it.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
So many different branches.
So, what'd you want to be when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, I remember like one time somebody like asked, like we did like in a school assignment, and I was like, I want to be a jazz pianist.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be like smoking a cigar.
That
and, like,
seems fitting. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
how close did you get to that one?
I smoked the cigar. I couldn't play piano,
Yeah.
and just I don't know, like it's. I grew up playing music, so I guess
Yeah.
I got far in that way, but I wanted something a little bit more sophisticated. Like I got the fur coat, like
yeah. You got the look. You
I
definitely
got
have
the look. Yeah, I got the look. And so I think you gotta dress for the job you want.
Yeah. Just manifest it.
Yeah, I'm still manifesting.
Just be it.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I would play piano as a kid, but it wasn't like
Wow. okay.
anything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
can you play any jazz on any instruments that you do play now?
It's all jazz, baby.
jazz,
yeah. I like when I play guitar, it's pretty jazzy. Like growing up in El Paso during like the Mars Volta era, everyone was like, I want to
Yeah.
play like prog jazz. And yeah.
Yeah, that stuff was wild. It blew everyone away. They're just like, what is this?
What is
Chaos.
it? Yeah. It's so psychedelic, bro. Yeah.
That was interesting.
Oh my goodness.
What was it like growing up in El Paso for you?
I loved it. Like I grew up in the Lower Valley with my great grandparents.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
yeah.
great grandparents.
What part of the valley?
Like by Riverside, like off
Okay.
of Alameda
Yeah,
and stuff.
okay.
Yeah. So and it was like my great grandparents. So my mom had me really young, and she had twins really young. Me and my sister.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Twin, yeah.
So I didn't really see her much, like you know, up until I was like 12. So we were with our great grandparents, and their place was like freaking like it was like a library. They were so quiet, very
Really?
quaint. Yeah, their house was like all 70s. They were like
okay.
trying to like assimilate. So like they were like straight from Mexico.
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah.
my grandpa loved like Wile E. Coyote and Elvis, and
crazy.
so like, they tried to be like this kind of Americana, and like they couldn't speak English. And so,
Really?
Yeah, it was really cute.
Did they ever
really.
learn?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they did learn. And yeah, so like me and my sister would always just like we had each other to play with, and
Yeah, that's good.
like growing up like communicating with somebody like on the same level and stuff was really fun. And yeah, so and then when I was like around 12, 13, my mom like she just has a knack for like finding interesting men. So like, yeah, every man that's been in her life, she's a man eater. They're so cool. So yeah, so after that, like I moved with my mom. And,
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
When did you start taking an interest in music?
probably always. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like so obsessed over like instruments.
Oh, okay.
Like ever since I could remember, like just playing pianos,
Wow.
toys. If like I went to somebody's house and they had like a violin, I
Yeah.
would just like that's all I wanted to do. So so I can play a lot of things. I stuck with guitar a lot. So and then I just was obsessed with it. Like my sister still talks about it because like we had to share a room up until we were like 18. And
wow, that's a
yeah,
long
she was like
time.
I would hear like she was like I thank her now because she would listen to me play for like 8 hours a day, like even more, like all the time. And yeah, probably drove her crazy.
That's rough.
But yeah, and then I started playing in bands when I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, cool.
my dad's family was actually pretty like they're just like scenesters, just out partying all the time.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So I think like after a while, like I would play in a band and then people would be like, oh, you're so-and-so's like niece. Oh, you're so, yeah. And so I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
Yeah, I was like 16 getting like shooed into a bar and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that, so.
How was the music scene back then in El Paso? It was-
I liked it. It was like a lot of like dancey music. It was
Really?
like super like I don't know. I guess now they would say it's like indie sleaze-ish, but I can't remember the bands that were big. Like I don't know, like
Yeah.
the DA, Bulletproof
Okay,
Tiger.
I remember. Oh, I remember Bulletproof Tiger.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was around the time you were about 16, 17 years old?
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you
I
were
was like
playing?
a lot. I was like younger than everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was probably like 22 for like 6 years.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Because when I had heard about those projects, I think I was already in college. If I remember correctly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we would go to like the Sunset Heights parties a
Yeah,
lot.
the
and they'd
Sunset Heights
be
block
performing at
parties.
those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like super into like all those things.
Yeah.
And then just into playing music. And,
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So I still go to shows and not as
Yeah.
much as I used to, but
Yeah, I don't know if anyone does, unless their like job is music. Like,
yeah. If passion's hard enough. Yeah.
yeah, because I do not go to.
I get
nearly as many
tired, dude.
shows.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
another
like-
thing too. Yeah, I'm just like ready for bed.
Yeah. Well, I live like so up north. I'm like, shit, like I don't want to like drive all the
Yeah.
Yeah,
just the driving for me. And then but like I don't really have like a social battery. Like I never get drained like talking to people and like hanging out. I'm always like the first one at a party and like the last one at a
Really?
party. Yeah. So I just need to lock myself at home. Like, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. How many bands have you been in?
I like jamming with people and
Okay.
stuff, but I've probably been in maybe like 5 solid bands. Yeah. So it's I've always like I love playing with people. Like mostly I'll just like jam now or like I'll play other people's music.
Oh, cool.
But one day I'll like work on my own music.
Yeah.
Do like modular like ambient stuff. But
Yeah, you
I'm
wanna
like,
make it?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna do it, mama.
yeah.
I just mean like you want to make your own music. That's cool.
Oh yeah. But I always forget. Like sometimes I'll just be sitting at home and then I'll like see my instruments. And I'm like, oh shit, I forgot.
They're all
like
there.
I can write a song right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, go on Instagram. Like, yeah.
You had recently done a project with someone else, right? It was just like the 2-piece.
Oh yeah, with my friend Sarah. She was definitely. Shout out to Sarah. She was like an El Paso it girl, like always
cool.
so beautiful, and I remember like she used to play with she used to belly dance for one of the guys from the Mars Volta.
Really?
Marcela Rodriguez. He would have like a electronic thing going on, and she would belly dance.
Oh, crazy.
And everything. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
And you just got to know, you like met her one day and
Yeah, so we met in El Paso, like we like knew of each other, and then we didn't get closer until like I moved to Austin, and
Oh, wow.
like everybody,
That's
like all the cool kids from El Paso like moved to Austin.
yeah.
That's what it
So
looks like.
yeah, so like everyone just like stuck together, and it's like I would have never talked to you in El Paso, but you're in Austin now.
It's
So,
true. Yeah, that happened a lot for sure.
yeah. I didn't know Omar. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know Omar until I moved here. But,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been like that scene adjacent. I've never been like involved in it. I just like hang out.
Oh, you're like you're
mostly
a skater kid, right? Or
yeah,
like,
yeah, and but it is mostly because of Omar.
Did you know like Kat's brothers?
No. Mm-mm.
No, okay.
Yeah, I always kept to like a real small group for the most part.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting when he was telling me about his younger days. Like there was more than one skate crew. Like that was so
Yeah, there was a
wild.
lot. Yeah, there's a handful for sure, and then like different age groups too.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Just like a music scene, like
Yeah, like so Kat's brother, he was like part of an older group that I didn't really associate because there was only like one older group, but there was like maybe a year older than us that I kind of knew.
Yeah, I remember when Carolina Skate Park was being built.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too, for sure.
Yeah, right next to the
Yeah.
lunchbox.
God, I remember when there wasn't any skate parks and like we would just have to go find the street spots and like we had heard word. I don't even know how we heard about it before the internet. Like for the life of me, I cannot remember. But we had heard that there was a skate park being built, and it was the one out on Saul Kleinfeld on the east side, and we didn't know how far away that was, but we made it a point to go to it to find it.
Go find it, yeah, just like walking. Like
we skated forever, just all the way down Montwood, and then eventually I think we caught a bus too because we were just like, this is really far, so we just caught a bus down there.
It's like no one's driving yet.
Yeah, no, dude, we were young. I was probably like 12 or 13 years old.
What a time!
And
just going on an adventure,
dude. But then we finally get there. It was like an all day thing. And it's just the slab of concrete. There's no skate park yet. We're just like,
it's like use your imagination.
Man. And we didn't believe it. We're like, are they going to build a skate park here? Like, what the heck? What's going on? You know? And like, it seemed like that project took forever for them to get going.
Oh, but they actually built this.
They did, eventually. Yeah. They used the skate wave materials. I mean, I don't know, skaters will know. But
I was like, what is that?
Yeah. But yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy time. And then Carolina came, I want to say like a few years after that.
All the punks would hang out at Carolina Skate Park.
Oh, that park was grimy for sure. Yeah. Some things would go down there. And it was in the Lower Valley too, so it's kind of a rough neighborhood, you know?
Lower Valley Por Vida.
Yeah, and like people would be getting drunk there too, and like
there was some creepy things
lots of fights
there.
And stuff. Yeah, it was rough, but you know, I don't know. It was good. I think it was good for that neighborhood. You know, it gave a lot of kids something to do.
Yeah, it's definitely like a lot of character and all that. I remember like a couple years ago when Beto O'Rourke was like doing his stuff. Somebody from like this big meme page made like a meme about him, but they used like the Carolina skate park, and all the comments were like, this person did their homework, like, oh my god.
Okay.
They're like, how do they know? Like this is in El Paso.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He was like around the same age as the guys from Mars Volta, right?
Yeah, I think they all like, I know my uncle partied with him.
Yeah,
and he was in a band called Faust, I think. Faust.
Bethel was?
Yeah, Bethel was.
Crazy.
Yeah, they used to party together.
Yeah,
so
that's so funny. Everyone has like a story about like, oh yeah, my cousin or my uncle or someone I know.
That is hilarious.
Used to go to his uncle's place or whatever. Yeah.
Well, I think El Paso just like small socially like that.
Oh,
like,
for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of smack talkers like that say bad things about him. Just like whatever. He was just a little like rich boy.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say about all like the Volta at the driving guys too. They're like, oh, they're just like rich kids.
For real?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think like Cedric's dad is like a professor, and his Omar's dad was like a criminal attorney or something like that. I remember he got jailed big time. And, yeah, because my grandma used to house them. So yeah, my grandma, my uncle he passed away from like 10 years ago and stuff. But he used to hang out with them. I think they used to call him Heron Hector. It was pretty unfortunate. Yeah. He was like an iconic punk dude. And they would all play music together, and my grandma would house them. So she was like always really close to all of them.
Whoa, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
She
cousin.
would always give me the gossip.
For sure.
Yeah. They're like, they're doing a reunion tour because they got to pay for these things. And like,
Yeah, she knows like the in and outs.
Like all smack talking.
Little details. Yeah.
That is a fun connection.
Yeah.
It's funny. I have a cousin who like swears that he introduced one of them, I can't remember who, to like some type of music or whatever. He's like, man, I was the one that showed that guy this or whatever. And I'm like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you did. You and like 50,000 other people in El Paso.
Everyone
like,
says that. Everyone says that.
Yeah, it is. It's such
funny.
It's such like a small town, like, I don't know,
It's
environment.
huge. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Big.
It's a huge place, but then like everybody knows everybody.
Everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
I guess it's just like a scene thing, right? Like everyone in the scene knows each other.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah. And then like I'm so social, and like my business is like everything. Like, you're gonna hear about this. Like, yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, so it's like I've gotten to know like so many people, and it's changed definitely. But I think I can still go to El Paso and like get some free meals and like get some free drinks. Yeah.
You know, it used to happen a lot more. It doesn't anymore. The times that I've been back in the last like I'd say 3-4 times, but. Before, when I would go visit, I'd always run into like so many people.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why that was. I was like, I guess we're just going to the same spots or something.
Well, same spots for like decades. I guess.
Yeah. Always running into people, but now it doesn't seem to happen.
Well, now that like I don't want to talk trash in like El Paso or anything. But going back now, it's like everyone's like getting older and all that, and it's like I don't want to be like drinking all night. And,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do see that a lot more now. Like just the other day, one of my friends was like visiting El Paso again. He's like, "Does anyone want to hang out and do something that's not drinking?" Like,
yeah. I like me a good bender, but like not all the time.
Yeah, I mean, geez, that's where it started for me. It's like every weekend, just
shit,
going
dude.
for it, dude.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then I brought that over here too. Like, it wasn't the city's fault necessarily.
I'm pretty sober now.
Yeah.
Like I go through like long stretches like where I don't even think about it, but it's like I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sober, but like I'll binge drink at somebody's wedding.
Yeah, for like an occasion or something.
Yeah, for an occasion. Yeah. So I'm like, I think it's like being sober and then like binging. It's like kind of cancels it out.
Yeah.
So like I'm pretty normal.
I think that's how a lot of people do operate. They'll just like do it for the occasion.
Yeah.
That's really it. It's not like a hobby of theirs.
You're probably not being disrespectful, so you're fine.
I think I've learned. I've been embarrassed so much. I've embarrassed myself. Like things keep me up at night. Like so I'm like I've learned to just like if I start feeling like I'm too drunk, I'll just like keep my mouth shut. Like don't even try to like I'm just gonna dig myself into a hole. Like so I'll be like super drunk and like because I'm like I've always been drinking with like freaking old men. So like, so I'm like, okay, just putting them down. And then people are like, oh, you didn't, I'll like be like, okay, hold on guys. And go like throw up, come back.
Oh,
and then
Jesus.
the next day I'll be like, oh my God, I was so drunk. And they're like, wow, you seem totally fine.
Yeah.
And I was like,
okay.
And I'm like, okay, good. But I wasn't.
Dude, no, I would get the same sort of reaction from people a lot of the times. Like they'd be like, I didn't even know you were drunk. And I was like, dude, I was hammered.
Like, I was
spent
like
the night hugging the toilet. Like,
oh, awful. I was like, please God, make this end.
Oh my goodness. No, people could tell whenever I could never, it was like
some people can't hide it and then some people can hide it so well. But
you're silly.
Yeah.
No, but oh man, I was gonna say something. Oh, the other night I had like a realization. I don't know why. Sometimes you're just like laying there in bed all by yourself, and thoughts just like intrude. Yeah. So I was just laying in bed, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy crap! I'm so lucky to be alive. Because there are so many weekends, like consecutive weekends too, where I just like I was out. I had like been throwing up, puking my brains out, and then I would just like pass out on the bathroom floor. Like so many nights. I remember the worst of it, like just trying to sleep, but like breathing very heavily, making sure. I was like, okay, just don't stop breathing. Just don't stop breathing.
Yeah, your organs are shutting down.
And I did that so frequently, like literally almost every weekend.
I killed like most of my brain probably in like my early 20s.
Yeah,
like I was like, how did I? Yeah. I was like, I was not okay.
So exactly. And like realizing it now, I was like, man, I was really bad. Like I had a lot of demons that I wasn't facing.
Yeah. No, I was like, so I was married when I got married when I was like 19 to a guy.
19?
Yeah,
wow.
to a guy who was way older. Like he was like 30.
He was 30? Okay.
Yeah, like 19. Like 29.
Can we ask how did that come about?
Playing in bands.
Dude, that makes so much sense.
Awful.
Yeah.
Don't live a life of rock and roll. And
they were I know that that's like, it's kind of like exploitive, right? Like
definitely. Yeah, I was like for sure, like 100%. For sure groomed.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna assume you knew him before that.
I did know him before. Yeah, so I've known him before. We played in a band. I had a boyfriend who was like my high school boyfriend.
Okay.
We broke up, and then that guy decided to like slip in, whatever, and just totally like love bombed, and like I'm like, cool, I'm a cool person. Like obviously he's gonna fall in love with me. Like it made total sense in my brain.
Yes.
Like and then like later, like I was probably with him for like maybe 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 years.
Married for 6 years? Yeah.
Like married for like 5 years.
Okay.
But with him for 6 years. Awful person, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't say a lot because legal reasons. Cause
that's fine.
My daughter's dad. But
absolutely, yeah.
But I've never known different types of abuse could exist. So it was it took probably like 2 years to actually get out of the relationship because
Okay.
it was so like financially restrictive, physically restrictive, emotionally restrictive.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that was just like drinking a lot, doing all sorts of things.
Sure.
Like and then just having so much like guilt and shame. And like I remember like I was the flakiest person ever, like so flaky. And just like walking outside my house, I was like embarrassed. Like I was like, I don't want the neighbors to see me. Like
wow.
So after getting out of that and like shaping myself up again, definitely not flaky anymore, always on time. Yeah, I was late here because I was like driving down I was driving down my neighborhood and I saw my neighbor's dog out.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, I did the Good Samaritan
So you had to get him
thing.
back in.
She's
Yeah.
being a hero. So.
I was like a hero. Yeah, I'm a hero
Hero.
now. Yeah, I'm not the villain anymore. And then so I had to like run out of the car, go grab the dog, and be
Yeah.
like, "Come on, Brody."
Put him
It's like,
back in.
the streets aren't for you.
Yeah.
You get eaten alive out there.
Did they didn't know that the dog had been out?
No, the
Yeah.
dog's old and like he always gets out. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So their gate gets loose, and then the dog just like, he's such a sweetheart. So I'm like, come on,
man.
Brody, let's go back home.
It's like, all right.
Yeah,
They should fix the gate.
Frank and Molly,
That
fix
poor
your gate.
dog,
Yeah.
dude. Like, well, because I used to have a little Chihuahua when I was a kid, and
We all did.
dude.
Yeah.
yeah. But that was like my dog, because we had a dog before that, and it was kind of like my brother's.
Yeah.
Like I was born into the family, I was the second child, so.
Yeah. We're like,
Like,
in the same shoes.
So I never considered it like my dog. But then I got my Chihuahua, and I was like, okay, sick. And then years later, she was in my life for about 13 years, I think. And we had this neighbor kid who had some sort of mental disability. Not sure exactly what it was, but just very like eccentric, just out there, not really in touch with the reality. Kind of just random. I don't know. Maybe no. What neighborhood did you grow up in El Paso?
Like on Maricela Street,
Marcela.
like the Riverside area.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay. No, totally different neighborhoods. But he would people knew him around the neighborhood, but he particularly took a liking to our household.
Was his name Crazy Larry?
No, that guy. I knew that. I knew
Okay,
that guy
Crazy.
too.
Yeah, I know Crazy
This
Larry.
was Adrian.
Adrian?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Awesome.
I don't know how they would refer to him. He was a black man. But yeah, I just knew him as Adrian. I don't know. Oh, some people would call him Turtle. Yeah, that's right.
I don't think so. Yeah.
But anyways, so he went into our backyard one day. Like he would just go hang out in our yard sometimes, I guess, apparently. He didn't no harm, he never did anything crazy. He was just
all like fixing your plants and stuff.
yeah, he was a good guy, for as far as we could tell. He really liked my dad because my dad was a martial artist, and he would always just
Oh, really?
yeah,
You're like a Nepo baby.
he would always just come over and I'm sorry, what was that? A what?
A Nepo baby?
A Nepo baby? I don't know what that is.
A nepotism baby? Like
Oh, okay.
like it's when your parents are in like the entertainment business or whatever business, and they're like they shoe you in or something. Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
No,
But,
yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
because it's different now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's a different martial art, and also it didn't help you at all.
Yeah.
But it does because you also did it. So that's why I thought it was funny, because it's like it's in the background. It's just silly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know,
it was
it's
more
just a
so.
joke. Yeah.
That's why I took an interest in the martial arts
Yeah.
for sure. But
okay.
But I mean, he wasn't he competed before I was even born, before my brother was even born.
crushed his
and
dreams?
He stopped. So probably. I mean, honestly,
My mom was a
no, I'm
model,
just
and
kidding.
she never let me I guess she forgave me, but yeah, my mom was a model before we were born, and then
As if it's your fault, dude. She was the. Anyway,
I
I'm
know,
just kidding.
right?
But no, you know what? My dad, he did, kind of gross, but he did want to be a cop, and my mom wouldn't let him. Yeah,
Good,
it
yeah,
was
your
a
mom's a
dangerous
smart
job.
woman.
Nice.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
dangerous.
That was the only reason. She
still-
didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, she still stopped him from doing it, but yeah, he's always had sort of
it's a blessing.
a respect for police officers and stuff like that,
yeah.
So it's whatever. But
So what happened, puppy?
right, so
the
Adrian,
puppy.
he would he liked my dad because my dad was a martial artist.
Yeah.
He would be like, Tom, come show me this kata.
Yeah.
I've been practicing on my kicks or whatever.
Oh,
And really, he was a nice dude, but just strange. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But so he was hanging out in our backyard, I guess, and he left our gate open. And we let the dog out, you know,
yeah.
didn't know that he had been there or anything. And there was during one of the sandstorms, you know? Yeah, dude. So it was all chaotic outside, you know? And yeah, the dog was gone. There's no idea what happened to her.
And that's it. Like, you
that was
never,
it.
like...
I mean, I searched, you know, for
Yeah.
like 2 days nonstop.
And like, worst case scenario, like, you'd be like, oh, so maybe on the side of the road, like...
Yeah, and I didn't
like,
see... That's one thing I kind of took, like, as a positive note, you know? Like, there was no...
Yeah, maybe
roadkill
somebody
anywhere.
took them.
Someone probably picked her up. But she was like, you know, she was so old already and like
poor
cataracts in both
baby.
eyes. I
Yeah.
know. So she was probably like so lost and confused. And
Yeah.
she knew her way around the block because I would take her for walks around the block. So,
Yeah.
And there was times where I would see what she would do and she knew how to get back. Like she would just go by herself.
Yeah, same with Brody. Yeah, I was like, come on, Brody. And I was like, well, how do I get back into the neighbor's house?
Yeah.
And he like just like went around. I was like, oh, okay,
This
cool.
way.
Yeah, he's like, come over here. Like, want a cup of tea? Like,
So I'm guessing
on
someone.
in.
Yeah, I'm guessing someone picked her up because she
Yeah.
would have been outside our front door, like waiting for somebody
Yeah,
to let her
yeah,
in. You
for
know?
sure.
Yeah. But also, she was like blind too, so maybe she didn't like recognize
pretty
things.
they
Sense,
smell.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the sandstorm was happening, so smells were probably all over the place. You know.
And
What if the
Chihuahuas are like desert dogs? Maybe.
You know
Oh,
what?
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm not sure.
Actually,
where
no,
they're
I don't.
from.
I don't know. I'm not a
I think-
zoologist.
I think they're from Africa or like somewhere in
Like in
Egypt or
Egypt,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think so.
People making them sound like these regal royal dogs.
I used to hate them so much, but
I still
as I
do.
got
They're
older,
terrible. Yeah.
so I think the people that have them are terrible, and that's why they're terrible. But like, there could be little precious babies.
They
Like,
can. They're so mean most of the time.
But is that because people rile them up?
No.
Or is it naturally just
They're naturally like
rah,
that.
rah, rah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, no, it seems like both
I feel like
though.
people
Like
support it. They're like, yeah.
they're like, yeah, get
mean,
angry,
definitely a
get
teaser.
angry.
My can you could probably guess what her name was. It was like everyone.
Chica,
Close. See? Yeah. Very close. It was Chiquita.
Chiquita.
Yeah,
Oh my god, my Thea had a Chiquita.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is hilarious.
Dude, like so many people
Yeah.
had Chiquitas. Yeah.
Yeah, Chiquita. Yeah.
But she would chase her tail too. Like I have video of it somewhere on my like 8mm camcorder.
That's adorable.
Yeah, you would just have to like brush her tail or like graze it or whatever.
She's
and
like,
she
who
would
the
just,
hell?
just like go
Yeah,
crazy.
The
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But she just like started doing that. It's like no one.
I've never
her.
known like a really cool Chihuahua. But, yeah. So what's your crazy Larry story?
He would just hang out at our school, and like our middle school. On top of that, yeah,
okay.
and like we would kind of just like skate, and then he would just like be talking.
Oh,
Like,
what middle
nonsense
school did
and
he go
stuff.
to?
Eastwood Middle.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like an East Side kid.
And what was that?
An East Side kid.
Yeah. And yeah, he would just like be there sometimes when we'd get out of school, and like we would hang out and collect on like
Picking
the
up
corner
his
of the
imaginary
block.
kid. Like,
What's that?
Picking up his imaginary kid or
Yeah,
something.
dude. I don't
like-
know. It was weird. As far as I know, he never tried anything with anybody. Because now I've heard stories of like dudes like that were typically like pedos, you know.
Shoot,
So
Yeah, that
Oh.
sounds terrible.
Yeah.
You're like, he's
Yeah.
hanging out outside.
He just
the
hanging
middle
out.
school.
Yeah. Well, when you're a kid, also like you don't
Yeah.
really know, but. Yeah, he used to like run down Alameda. Like I remember him looking
yeah.
like he looked like Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
He had like his hair, and he would just like be running. My grandma would be like, he's crazy. Like he's crazy because like his wife left him at the altar. Like there's always like some like wild
jeez.
story.
Okay.
I don't think that was true.
Yeah. Just
like-
like,
because when
Give you
he-
a life lesson, like, look what happens when you treat people like this.
Yeah. It's like something just snapped in his brain. And now he just like he would just run all day like up and down
Yeah.
Alameda, and then when he died, they actually put out his like real story, and he was just like his family
really?
members had trouble taking care of him.
yeah, I bet.
But I remember my friends because he would also hang around my high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like obvious like there's like I grew up with like cholos and stuff, and like they'd like be like, "Yo, Crazy Larry, like
Right.
go into this gas station, and, like just grab whatever you can." And he'd be like, "Okay," and he'd come out. He'd come out with like a small bag of chips, and then they'd be
Okay.
like so pissed.
Damn. Yeah. I think I do remember some dudes like giving him money to go buy beer or something like that.
Oh, probably.
couple
Yeah,
times,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I never
Crazy
really.
Larry's errands.
Yeah, I never spoke to him or anything. I was kind of just like hanging out. Like,
I would just see him.
like,
Yeah, I was a
doing that.
kid, so like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just remember like his hair just like falling and just like always running.
Yeah,
like, running away from his demons or like,
I mean, yeah, everyone's got to cope somehow, right? Sometimes it is just like physical like that. You just I
gotta go.
Oh damn it! I did it. Yeah, that's how I cope with some of my stuff.
I wish I could like cope with like exercising. Yeah. Although I do a lot of meditation, so I'm.
Oh, that's nice.
Cool.
Yeah, but I'm like at night. I'm like my legs get restless, and I'm like I should work out. Everyone's like, dude, just start running. Just start running. Like just start like light exercise. But I walk like 7 miles a day at my job.
Oh, cool.
So I'm a huge walker. I love walking.
Okay.
But haven't sweat in like months. About like a year. Yeah.
Just go sit in a sauna.
I'm so sedentary. Like if somebody was like, oh, like if you could get paid like $10 an hour to just like sit and stare at a wall, like would you do it? And everybody was like, no, that's crazy. And I was like, that sounds like a dream job. Like, to just sit, like not do anything, sit and just like stare and chill. I'm like, sign me. I'll do it for $5. Like,
oh my gosh. Just to have that time.
Yeah.
So what, growing up, what, did you have any like dreams or ambitions that you wanted to achieve?
Actually, I just always wanted to be a musician.
Okay.
Yeah, always like since I was a kid. Now all my friends are like way better than me, but like I wasn't striving to be like the greatest, but I think if I were younger, I'd be pretty proud of myself. But I wanted to be like a music producer.
Oh wow!
So and then like now I've kind of strayed away from it because I started doing art like right when I got out of high school. Like it's not like art's not something I was doing as a kid. Like I wasn't
really?
And like I was good at doing things. Like I could like copy a picture, but I wasn't like the most artistically like inclined. Until like maybe like my last year of high school, and then on I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like I have like a pretty vivid imagination. So so just lean into that and like I'm not the most like people are always like, oh, like you're an artist, whatever. But like my day to day, I'm not like super creative. Like
okay.
Hey guys, sorry about that. Some technical difficulties, storage space and all that. So now we're back. Sorry. Thanks for
whole new season
rejoining us. But yeah, so we were just discussing a little bit about sorry, I wanted to say Marcy.
Marcy's too dorky. Like I knew.
So we were just discussing Marcela's artwork a little bit and how she doesn't really consider herself as much of a creative person, which is interesting because you are an artist and you do produce artwork.
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah, you would think so. I don't know if I covered it in the last part, but yeah, like I have friends like well throughout my day to day, I'm just trying to relax and like zone out. But I think people are like, oh, you do art shows, you're an artist, and like I'm such a structured person, but I have friends who like don't even consider themselves artists or like I don't produce anything, I don't do that. But the way that they look at the world is just like so romantic. And so and then it's mine is just like I have like a robot brain or something. Like I think like I'm just so like logical, like just like oh my god, like black and white, like
And so and then your artwork a lot. You do use a lot of black and white. Art, and then it's also just very like orderly and like,
structured. I'm a huge perfectionist too. I'm not somebody like I'll see like a blank sheet of paper and like it stresses me out. But then other people are just like, and like I love that too. And I'm just so.
Oh wow.
But
and then we had gotten into a little bit about how do we transition into your meditation practice?
Oh yeah. So it's like meditation definitely helps with like the like emotional aspect because like I'm not like a highly emotional person either. So like I definitely like meditation helps a lot, and then I think you asked me how I got into wellness and
because sometimes a lot of people are just like I can't deal with the stress, and so I was wondering, was that always a part of your life, or when did that start?
So I had like the nicest childhood ever, like the sweetest. Like so my great grandparents were so loving, and it wasn't until I was like married and just like I was like like really destroying myself, destroying like the relationships around me.
Yeah.
And then I had my daughter, and I was like, oh, I can't like, oh shoot, I can't, I can't have.
It's alright. Yeah.
Fine.
I was like, she didn't ask to be born, and she's like, she's definitely like the sweetest thing on earth. So I'm like, okay, I gotta get out of this situation. I gotta shape myself up because like,
good for you.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
awesome.
I was down bad. I was like, you know, like drinking, all that, illegal things. Just kidding. And just having like lying a lot, having like a lot of shame. So when I moved out, I was like, okay, I need to fix myself up. And so, and so I just started journaling a lot. I did a lot of meditation. And like, I try like, I think no matter what, you're gonna instill trauma in your kid.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'd rather it not like, like I can feel it whenever I'm like rushing Evelyn. I'm like, Evelyn, get your shoes on, or like get frustrated, or like
It's hectic for a kid. For
yeah,
sure, you know?
yeah. So it's like no matter what, you can feel it too. And you're like, what was it today? What like was it this or was it that? Like
No,
what's gonna be their
You really
core
do
memory?
Think about it, because it's like we mentioned this a little bit. And it's which one is going to be the thing that they remember whenever they're older.
Yeah.
Are
they gonna
my
argue?
mom did this.
Yeah, and I'm always trying to like. I pack so much into one day, and I'm just like, is she gonna think about like how hard her mom tried, or is she gonna remember her being frustrated all the time?
You know what?
Like,
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think, in my personal opinion, I think it is important for kids to see their parents or role models like at least trying to make things right, or like to do better, to be better, you know, amongst the chaos that, you know, they might perceive.
Yeah, I'm like, and then every time I'm like frustrated, because like I'm obviously like I'm not like a perfect mom, and everyone's like, oh, you're such a sweet mom. Like I've snapped sometimes. I'm like, I want to stop.
Yeah,
like
we snap.
we snap. Yeah, it's only natural. Animals do it. Like
We're not better than animals, y'all. Like we try really hard, and maybe you are better than animals, but we're part of it.
But I'll be like, Evelyn, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I was really frustrated.
Yeah.
And then now she's like, I don't know where she like learned this from, because like she doesn't really go on the internet or anything. But I was like frustrated the other day, and then she was like, Mom, are you overstimulated? Oh, like I am. Nice. Yeah.
That's good. That's promising.
Awareness.
You know,
yeah. Oh, she's always been like so good about it. I think because like I'm always like trying to like channel my emotions. But even when she was like younger, she was be like, Mom, I just like need 5 minutes, and so like she'll go into her room.
Cool.
That's
so
great.
she's an only kid too, so it's like I'm like, okay, go to your room, like let it out. Like it's like I've always like taught her to like self-cope. And then so she's like super emotionally aware, but then I'm like, oh shit, like am I instilling trauma by having her self-cope in like her room? Like she's like, no one's there for me. This is like, I have no idea what it's gonna be. But
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think with that kind of stuff, like I always try to follow up after any sort of like event, you know, so we can talk about it. Be like, all right, let's talk about what happened. You know, did we act
like,
the best way? Can we do better next time?
Yeah,
you know, like
every night, dude. Like I think it might be like a mom thing too, but every night it's like, how could I have done better? Like I want to do better, and then you get that guilt too, where you're like, I could have done better. Like just because if I weren't so I guess stuck in your way, like stuck in your like instant gratification.
Yeah. I mean, just yesterday, really, we had a big incident where I wasn't sure if one child was trying to be manipulative or not, or if they were just like straight up lying to me, and it was hard for me to tell given the information I had. So that's all I had to work with. And I was just like, okay, you know what? I don't think you can come join me for this thing, you know, after all, because of what's happening. So I'm sorry. And of course they got upset, and I was upset too, because like I wanted them to go. You don't be the bad guy, well, that too, but you know, I wanted them to go and enjoy themselves, have a good time, because they're home a lot. You know, they don't get out a whole bunch, and it was a birthday party. They could have had fun. Yeah. So I felt bad about that, and I didn't want to go to the birthday party. I was only going
I feel that too. I'm always like, do I have to go?
Yeah, I mean, I had already made a commitment, and I wanted them to see that too. Like, I had already told them I was going to the birthday party, so I stuck to it. Yeah. And I told them afterwards too, like I said, I like to follow up, right? I came home and I was like, you know, between us, well, actually now everyone's gonna know.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. Yeah.
I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
I did not. I was only going because you guys were gonna come with me. But I still went, and that's another thing I want you guys to understand. Like, I tell you, you need to really commit to your commitments. You know, like be responsible for them, and I want you guys to see that I do that too. I'm not just telling you to do it all the time. You know, like these are just lessons that I'm trying to give you guys, so you can just like be better off later on.
Yeah, I always like I'm like so big on my friendships and relationships, and I'm always like I always put effort to like go see people, and like you know, like some people don't reciprocate it, or they're like, oh, I'm tired, like I just want to stay home.
Yeah.
But I'm always like trying to show my daughter, like, if you put effort into people, like it means a lot. And so like but in doing so, I'm just like always rushing her to do things, and like, but I do want to be that example of like, okay, this is how you show people you care about them, and all that. And she's so sweet. Like, she makes things for her friends. She's so like,
oh wow, that's
so
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, dude. Because I mean, honestly, even most adults aren't even great at these practices.
No,
you know?
I don't think I would have been if I didn't have a kid. Like, I wouldn't be able to think about it like so objectively, or be like, okay, how is somebody perceiving me?
Yeah.
So I think having that check every day is like, constant reminder, constant guilt.
Dude,
like,
and that's like, you're already like so much ahead, because there are people out there that won't even take that into consideration.
Oh yeah.
even
People are always
despite
like,
having children.
people are always like, oh, you're a good mom because like you're there and you're thinking about it, and like that's more than like.
That's true. That is a really big deal. Like, some people don't even process it. They don't even stop to be like, oh.
Yeah.
I might be coming off this way right now. No, they're just like on constant like reaction mode.
Yeah,
you know? Just, like,
I think it's getting broken in every
react.
generation too, but.
Yeah, I hope so. I really want that to,
A lot of my friends who have kids are like pretty much the same way too.
Yeah, just trying to break those cycles.
Rarely have I met somebody who's just like, Johnny, shut up. Like,
because I said so.
Because I said, I've never, because I said so. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's hard, because I have wanted to use that line. Like, it just comes up naturally.
Oh, well,
You're just
sometimes.
like,
Yeah, because I want to be like, why can't I be kicking that? I'm like, because you can't be kicking it. Like, duh. Like, but if you give kids a reason, like,
it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to find the explanation.
But emotionally, it's hard to be like, because kids are doing things every minute, and it's hard to like fully explain to them it gets emotionally taxing.
Dude,
so,
it
like,
is exhausting. Oh my god, it's so tiring. Like, even when I talk to my mom sometimes about these things, because I am always just trying to like follow up with like an explanation, give a reason, you know, like, hey, this, that, whatever, instead of just being like, stop it because I said so, that's it, we're done. And I'm always trying to like work on it, and I tell my mom, and she's like, that's exhausting, and I'm like, no, it is.
Maybe it's worth it. And it's worth it.
I'm like, I'm so tired, and it's a constant thing, you know,
and I think
thing.
And I think that's why like the times where I do get quiet time, I'm just like zone out.
Yeah.
Like,
So. And that's nice too. And
I'm always processing. I'm always like thinking. Like, I'm always trying to like channel ways in and out. Like, I don't really have the time to like explore my fantasies or whatever.
There's no room in there anymore. You got work to do.
I got work. I got good.
Or you just gotta relax too. Honestly, that's my favorite thing to do.
You can't pour from an empty cup, man.
So what kind of meditation do you do? Is there like a name for it, or do you kind of just
no, I just kind of wing it every time. I've looked into like obviously like transcendental meditation is like the biggest thing.
Okay.
I just try to, because I hold a lot of stress in my body. Like, I'm not like a stressful person. Like, I don't get frustrated. I don't get hangry. I'm super, super like chill. But I hold a lot of it physically. Like, I like pick at my fingers. Like, I'll just like I hold it in my jaw and my neck. So I try to relax. I try to do it more physically, and then the mental parts, like, I try to visualize. So I have a pretty vivid imagination, and I think that's where like the art comes out of. I can visualize things really well. I can like it's just really vivid. So I try to focus on that a lot too, where it's like I try to think of things that like I haven't thought of before, or different color combinations, different like just experimenting with thoughts and stuff. But
And so do you process like emotions through thoughts as well? Like, are you just trying to like maybe recite affirmations or something like that?
No, like emotions is more like a kind of like web chart. I don't know what they're called. I haven't been in school in forever. But like one of those things where it's like, okay, I feel mad because of this. Like, oh, okay, I reacted this way because of that. Like,
okay, like a flow chart.
A flow chart. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's pretty much like the logical part of like my emotions. So it's
Well, that's good. I mean, at least you have something to like refer to, you know?
Yeah,
and again, it's very structured. Like,
So I'm like the most structured person like ever. I think that's something that people don't like expect and stuff. They're like, oh, like Marcy's like really chill, or like, oh, she's a party monster, or like all this. I'm like, I am so I need routine. I need to like just like meditate and just like just process things. I'm just always like. Yeah.
I think, I don't know, in my opinion, I think most people do benefit from just like a regular routine, you know?
Yeah.
Because it gives you stability.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm all for stability. Yeah.
And it offers just like that sort of like calmness and of like, there's nothing that's going to necessarily be like unexpected. I mean, you're always going to get thrown curveballs, sure. But
you can handle the curveballs like really well. Like when things pop up with me, like I'm just like, okay, cool. I already have everything, like all the tools I basically need.
Yeah. And you already know, you already have like set times for certain stuff. You'd be like, okay, then I can just push this back a little bit.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And I'm like super, like I communicate pretty fast too. So I'm always like, okay, I'm going to change this. I need to call that person. I need to do that. And then, but it never, I'm grateful that I've like learned those things because like it's hard out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it super is.
And it's great to see people actually making an effort, you know, to like really get through life.
Just like don't bring others down. Like I just want to enhance like everybody's like life. Like
that's really
like,
cool.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times, especially online, we just see like reactive reactions, right? I know it's redundant, but like we just see people like freaking out all the time, right? Because that's what gets the likes, that's what gets the clicks, and and it's like, see, everyone does that, you know. It gets very normalized. And it's like, well,
that's unfortunate.
You know, maybe there's actually a lot more people that are actually trying to work through it. You know? And I want to try to like shed some light on that. You know?
And it's also like, can they get that structure? Because I know. For me, it took me a while to be able to start seeing that I need a pattern, I need a flow, or I'm going to be more
usually happens. Usually like you catch yourself in a bad place and
Absolutely, For me, a lot of time it was like I didn't really have any obligations, you know. It was just like me, myself, and that's it.
If I was left, like when I don't have my daughter, dude, I am a mess. Like,
exactly.
I'm like, if I have no obligations, I'm like, I'm sleeping on the train tracks tonight. Like,
right. Like you're just kind of wandering around, like, I wonder what's gonna happen today. And that can be detrimental for sure.
I'm not a person that should be left to their own devices.
Need some structure, some like routine, something to do, you know, some occupation. But do you have any like future projects coming up or anything going on right now?
No, I pretty much cleared. I told everybody like this whole next year, like maybe pick up an art show or two, but for the most part, I'm just like I want to get better creatively because I haven't been drawing. I've been heartbroken for like the past couple months. So like so you're not like creative when you're like not happy. But just trying to get my schedule right, go to school and try to like use the things that I'm learning to create like bigger concepts. So it's more of like a long-term thing.
Exactly. So school, I mean, obviously it's a huge priority right now.
Just like preparing. I want to prepare. I just want a good foundation to create like bigger concepts and like
Heck yeah.
So
that's awesome.
That's my project.
Do you think you're gonna continue with the same like style of artwork that you've been creating? Are you gonna try to tweak it a little bit?
My physical artwork, like my illustrations and stuff, like I definitely want to keep it the same. Like it's kind of like a bad thing where people like see like what works out for them and they just like repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. But I want to, always kind of keep it changing, but more or less like the same. But I definitely want to create like concept houses and like concept rooms and stuff, like something more like immersive.
Okay.
So that sounds like a lot of fun.
So hopefully my work can translate to that and
that's
so I'm just trying to figure that how those are gonna correlate.
Sure.
I see a lot of creativity. That is very cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's nothing going on up here.
Well, that's funny because
There's
it
a lot.
translates
Yeah.
into some really cool art and some really cool stuff. So that's
thank
really
you.
awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you're making it happen for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just getting stuff done.
Yeah. I mean, we all are. At least we're
Taking care of
trying to,
business.
right?
Yeah, we're trying.
We're
Yeah,
trying.
yeah.
Trying. I mean, it
Yeah.
seems like it. The more people we've been talking to, it really seems like they're trying. But of course, it's just the people we're talking to as well. Who knows?
For sure.
What if there's
Maybe you
some
guys
people
keep
that are
good
not
company.
trying?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. We're starting to get to
You
the
guys
point.
should get like a really bad person on here. Like,
I was gonna say,
an asshole.
like,
Like,
we're getting to the point where we're kind of running out of people to ask that we personally know, right? So now we're gonna have to start branching out a little more and see
no,
what's
just grab
out
a random
there.
person.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, we've
Go to 6th Street and just grab somebody
we've
and
played
just
with the
like
idea of like
Yeah.
giving those kind of like street interview type things, or I mean, using the dating apps to ask people.
Yeah.
You're
We're looking for a third podcaster.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but but thank you so much for doing this.
Oh
for
yeah,
us.
yeah. I
We
love you
appreciate it.
guys. So
Yeah,
yeah.
And it's really cool seeing all your artwork come out, and we're excited to see where it goes, and I'm sure we'll be hanging out, here.
Oh,
and
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Show,
At the
the community
show.
garden.
the show once a year
Shout out
that we all
Community
go to.
Garden. Yeah.
Shout out Community Garden.
Yeah,
That's such a great space.
Yeah,
that
the
James has been-
one other time I've seen you guys, like,
Yeah,
we're
that's what
like
I'm
come out
saying.
of like our
yeah,
holes.
we're gonna crawl out of the
Yeah.
dark, like, hey, our friends are throwing a party. Okay,
Okay. Crack the bones. And like,
Make sure
I
you
got
stretch.
this. I still got it, baby. Yeah.
Take your electrolytes.
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah, I need my ashwagandha. Like,
I've been wanting to pick up meditation recently, but I
just start from anywhere.
for
just-
me right now it's like time.
Well, even like right before bed, just take those 5 minutes that you're,
No, on it,
mega
it's like
thinking.
reading a book. Like the hardest part is like actually grabbing the book and opening it. Like just sit down. Like I'll do it on my floor.
Just doing it.
And just like I do it. If I keep thinking about it, like, oh, should I do it now? Should I do it now? I'll just like get up and do it. Like
right, because you're wasting
yeah.
time like thinking about should I
Yeah.
do it opposed to like just
They
doing
always
it.
say just
Yeah.
do it immediately when that thought happens.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really one of your favorite things too.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
like, just do it right now.
Yeah,
I know. I'm just making
you're right.
excuses.
I always do that. Yeah, it's so easy to make excuses. I was
Yeah.
thinking that on my drive over here. I was like, it's so easy just to make excuses to not do something that's
Right.
like good for you. And
Yeah. Just do
Yeah.
it.
Everybody's self-destructive.
Nah.
I'm
is with the
especially
system?
self-destructive. So I'm like always trying to like, okay, lock myself up. Like, yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah, we got this.
We got this for sure, 100%. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so
Yeah,
much for
thank
joining
you.
us.
So good.
And if you guys, I don't know how open you are to having people maybe follow you. Do you
Oh
wanna,
yeah. I need more followers.
Yeah.
Feed it.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
want to go ahead and plug your Instagram or anything else you got.
My Instagram is horticulture. I think if you just like spell whore, it'll
It should
probably
pop
come
up.
up. Yeah, it's
a good one.
WHORETICULTRE.
Okay.
Yeah. And well, of course, we'll add it in the description.
In the
Tag on
description.
I just want that
IGs.
spelling bee. I want that spelling bee. It's like I told it right.
Yeah, it was a long one too. I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, I lost track of it. I have a little bit of a short
the
attention
letters up.
span.
Yeah.
So I have to take it slower. You got through that very fast, and I was like, wait, what? No, but yeah, we'll definitely have it in the description, guys. If you want to give a like and follow to the episode, and definitely
better.
follow Marcia on Instagram and check out what she's going to be up to. And thanks for joining us. Okay, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Cool.